Hey guys, so it is Friday, and Friday at our house means pizza night. Every Friday I make sourdough pizza, one, because it's delicious, and two, y'all, sometimes it's nice not to have to think about what I'm cooking, and I'm just like, I know Fridays are pizza nights, like Mondays are our taco nights. It's easy. So, I've actually already started some dough earlier, but I'm gonna do 2 pizzas tonight. So usually I do like a pepperoni cheese pizza, which I am planning to do for the boys, and then I think Caleb and I are gonna make a supreme pizza to kind of switch it up a little bit. So we'll put peppers and onions and what else are we putting? Bacon and sausage. So I'm excited. It will be delicious. So I'm just gonna move this out of the mixing bowl and then we can get started. Okay, so I have my first dough set aside for the first pizza, and now I'm gonna make the second dough. So what you're gonna need is a cup of discard, half a cup of water, 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of, this is Active Dry Yeast. You can use fast yeast too, and then a teaspoon of salt. That's it, super simple. So that's what we're gonna do. So now that the ingredients are in my mixing bowl, I'm gonna mix this over on my stand mixer, just to make things easier on myself. If you don't have a stand mixer, you wanna knead it really well because pizza dough tends to get dense, and you wanna get that yeast that you've added to activate. And another note I will add, my starter discard is a little bit more fed-like because I used my discard this morning and then I fed my starter again just because I didn't have enough starter to do both at one time. So it is probably more fed than what I would usually have. Just wanted to throw that caveat out there so that people are like, as you were seeing me pour it in, they're like, oh, that looks so like bubbly. It is. So. Okay, and we're back. So everything is all nice and kneaded, and I'm just gonna leave it in my mixing bowl and let it rise for, I'm doing it at like 2:30, so let it rise for a couple of hours. Ideally, I like to do it like early in the morning, like this one, because then it gets, you know, all day to rise, and then you're not like on a time crunch. But 2 to 4 hours is decent timing. You could probably knock it down to like 90 minutes, and I've had to do that before. So what I do is I use some plastic wrap and I put it tightly over the top of my mixing bowl, and I will heat my oven to the lowest heating setting, let it heat up to it, then turn my oven off and put it in, and the heat will help the dough rise a little faster. I've done that in a time crunch, but again, ideally, I usually will make this dough, you know, while my kids are eating breakfast or even after breakfast. So that way it has all day and I don't have to sweat about it. And then all I have to do is roll it out for dinner. But I will show you guys that next part in a couple of hours. Okay, so it has been a few hours. So now I'm gonna work on getting my dough all stretched out, oiled, seasoned, all of that good stuff, so I can put the toppings on and put it in the oven. So you can use a roller, like a rolling pin if you have one. If not, I don't necessarily use mine every time. Sometimes I will if my dough is more difficult, but this has had decent time to rise, so it's pretty easy to work with. A lot of times I just kind of just work like this with my hands, partly because it makes less dishes, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, I'm just gonna get this all nice and stretched out, and then we'll be ready to put some olive oil and garlic powder on it. Okay, so I got it all stretched out, and I'm just using a cookie sheet with some parchment paper. It's probably easier with like a pizza stone. I have not gotten that. I'm not that fancy. I just use what I have instead of going out and buying new things. Although a pizza stone at this point would be a good investment because we do eat it every week. But I digress. So I have my cookie sheet with my crust. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my extra virgin olive oil and I'm going to add oil all over, probably about a tablespoon. And this just really helps make the bread, like it bakes it better. It gives it more of like that crunch, that crispy crust that you like at, like, you know, your Domino's or whatever pizza chain, pizza place you're going. So this is just like a really nice add thing. You don't have to do it. So I will do this. And then I also like to add a little bit of garlic powder because it just gives the crust a little bit more flavor. My 5-year-old, who's extremely picky, really likes this. I did this one time and I didn't tell anyone I was doing it. And my husband's like, wow, that was really good. Like, what did you do differently? It's like, I just added some garlic powder and y'all didn't even know. So now I have that all done. I add my pizza sauce. And I get Del Grosso. I think I'm saying that right. It's a New York pizza style sauce. I just get this from my local Aldi's. It's like $2 or something like that. And it's got really, really clean ingredients, which is why I like it a lot. But I actually have some leftover. So I'm gonna finish up the stuff that I had from last week. And I leave about an inch or so from the edge of my, like where your crust would be, so that way you're not like putting your fingers in sauce, because, you know, that just makes it really messy. All right, so we got a thin little coat, and we'll add some more. If I can get it open. There we go. So how I do the pepperoni pizza is I do my sauce and my pepperoni, and then I've preheated my oven to 425. So I'm gonna put it in my oven after I put the pepperoni and the sauce on, and I will leave that in there for about 13 to 15 minutes. Let this cook nice, and then I will take it out and I'll add our mozzarella cheese and let that melt on it. And it's just so that way the crust can get like nice and like crispy, and without, you don't want to burn your cheese. So that's the way I do it. I don't know if everyone does it like that. I've done it where I've cooked with just the where I've just done it all at once, and it's turned out just fine too. So you don't have to do that. It's just the way I like doing it. So this bad boy is about to go in the oven for about 13-14 minutes, and then we're gonna put some cheese on it. I'd like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, which is Ollie Pop, which is a delicious fizzy drink that is an alternative to all of your pop fizzy products. It's just got that nice, cool, refreshing flavor. They're not really a sponsor, I'm just just for fun. But Ollie Pop is actually a really good alternative to any soda. I like it because it's made of a bunch of like natural stuff. I don't drink it all the time, but it's perfect for Mexican and pizza nights. and I've really liked it. My son really likes it, which is not surprising at all because he likes his fizzy drinks. And this is actually the first time I've had this cola, and it's really good. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised by that. So, Ollie Pop, the America's best new alternative to your soft beverages.
You got a friend.